right. Can we see me? Yes, we can. All right. What up, everybody? So I'm hoping that you guys can hear me now because in my last session, you could not. So, what up, everybody? I don't even know what to do. What up, everybody? Welcome to the Sounds and Sights Daily Show with your host, Nick Saenz. And today, what I want to talk to you about as an artist in the world in 2022 was some interesting stuff. So, as you can see behind me, that is actually my vocal booth. So what I did was I want to expose every part of the music making process. And originally I was like not going to include the vocal recording because, I'm a producer by nature, and singing is something that I'm still very much, still learning, still getting better at, and have made a lot of progress in the past year. And I'm really proud of it. But I was like, well, am I ready to show that live? But you know what? Fuck that. I'm going to show it to you live. So I put a little light in there because so I set up a webcam in the little booth there, which is basically a literal kind of, I guess it's a walk-in closet. It's probably about maybe like 4x4 space, usable space. There's some shelves in there that have since been blocked off by my acoustic treatment. But having that has really been a godsend because it just makes it so much easier to treat vocals and to make them sound amazing off the bat, recording them in a space that's like really well treated. And in that space, it's a closet, so it didn't really take as much acoustic treatment to get it to, it's like 70% covered. So I've literally taken some panels that I guess you can't quite see onto the sides of me, but I took those and I put them in my closet and made kind of a makeshift vocal studio. And it works pretty well. I used my old laptop, it's probably like 5 or 6 years old. And what I do is I basically have Ableton installed on that machine so that when I go in there, it's the same similar interface, same everything. I record my vocals. And what I do is I save everything, all my projects to Dropbox. So that way they get saved there. 1, they get backed up. And 2, they get kind of sent, over the fucking internet to my computer here. So what I can do is kind of separate my vocal stuff that I do in the vocal booth and my production, which I do here. Because, there are cars that go by occasionally. It's a pretty quiet street, but mostly the fan noise. Like if you're a bedroom producer, God knows you've probably had some computer fan noise in your takes. And if you haven't, then I don't know, but that's something that affected me a lot. And I can tell you, probably in 70% of my songs, there's a take with some fan noise in it. So I am very glad to have figured out a system where I don't have to do that anymore. But so it's interesting. So let me tell you a little bit about the live streaming experience, as I am live streaming now. So one of the things that I thought would be more tough, honestly, to do live is the vocal recording. But for some reason, it ended up actually being the production. And I'll tell you why I think that's the case. With vocals, I'm just in the zone. I'm speaking the vocals. So like I'm using my mouth. I can't, I'm not explaining everything really along the way as much because I am physically unable to because I am singing. And I think that allowed me to just be in the zone and just kind of do what I would normally do, but just, to a live setting. So, I think that there are a lot of producers that can really speak out loud while they're producing the whole time. And that might work for some people, but I think for me, if I'm really going to be showing you guys my process for real live. Like, I'm not fucking around. I'm literally going to stream live every single time I sit down at the DAW or every single time I'm in the vocal booth. Then I think I need to be able to not talk at times. Like, when I kind of get into the zone, sometimes talking takes me out of the zone. So, I want to explain things, but I also want to, like, this is my real life. I make music, and I want to continue to just, to make the music. And maybe with time, who knows, I'll get more comfortable with just speaking as I'm making music. But I'm realizing, I think that there is just, it takes me out of the moment in some time. So I think just, I'll get better at it. So bear with me, because I really do want to show you guys everything that has to do with being an artist and creating music, and, everything in my world. I want you to be just here with me and get anything that you can. So, yeah, with that, I would try doing a live. I think it's an interesting thing to try, for anyone else who may be listening to this right now and thinking about potentially doing something similar to what I'm doing, which honestly I would really encourage you to do, because one, it's free content. If you don't say anything, if you just did your due and didn't say anything and recorded it and threw it up in the internet, like, you know how many videos I've watched of people just producing and how much stuff I've learned? It's a lot, I think I referenced in my other video, which maybe you couldn't hear because OBS was being a piece of shit, but people watched Skrillex's video where it's literally just a YouTube video of him playing his own song and just silently scrolling through his own session, and people got so much knowledge out of that. And that's what I want. That's what I want for people. But anyway, so first live session from the vocal booth went well, although I did mess up OBS, and because it was from a different computer, slightly different setup, it didn't exactly record. It didn't play through the audio from Ableton. And I gotta say, honestly, OBS is kind of a little bit of a witch with, getting everything. It's really powerful. It's super powerful, but I guess maybe I just suck at detail, but I've fucked it up so many times. It's not even funny. I mean, I've recorded so many, a 20-minute thing like this. Well, this isn't 20 minutes, but, I've recorded a full-on session where I really got some good stuff, and then, the audio's fucked or something like that. But anyway. So, what else is going on today? Let's see what else. Oh, so I actually tried to do a writing session live, and I guess I kind of already touched on that, but it was the same thing. I think, talking out loud while I'm trying to get into this creative mode is tough. And, it's interesting. I almost don't know how normal artists, like, for artists that just go into a studio and have a bunch of people around, they're all talking, like, it's kind of distracting. Like, if you are having to explain your ideas, but I guess you could just take a few minutes to yourself. I don't know. I mean, I guess there's a myriad of ways in which people work, but for me, I kind of like to go deep, go in the zone, and then I'll come back out for air, and I'll be like, hey, what do you think? This is what I came up with. So everyone has different ways of working, and no way is wrong, so long as you are able to make the music that you want to make and feel like you're really getting into a zone, and, kind of present that information. So, yeah. So other than that, things are going pretty well. My song just got, or my album just kind of got picked up on release radar a little bit, which, is always a good feeling to look into your Spotify, Spotify for artists, and see that your song has magically gotten a little bit more play than it has in the past. But I'm not, as much as I love looking at the numbers, I'm not going to lie. I think over the past little while, I've been learning that, it's not the end all and be all. And I have more faith now than ever that, I don't want to say faith, but more evidence-based, you know, fucking experience that just doing the thing you want to do, doing the thing that makes me happy, which is making music, showing people how to make music. The results will come out of that. It's if you try and get streams, and that's your end all be all, then you're always going to be disappointed because you have no control. Even this, like, it's something that's great. I had no control over it. I couldn't have predicted that when I, posted my album, that 2 weeks later it would get picked up by some fucking algorithm thing. Like, all I can do is create the music that makes me proud and know that I put my full effort into, put it out, do my due diligence in coming up with cool, interesting ways that are true to the art of letting people know that it exists, and, just know that I did my best. So I know it sounds kind of corny, but honestly, it's just the fucking truth. I feel way happier, even if, yeah. So anyway, so I think that's pretty much it for today. Honestly, I think it was mostly setting up that vocal recording studio. I actually put that light. So if you notice, I only have light from one side of my head. I put the other light in my recording studio, or in my vocal booth, and it's actually pretty dope. It's interesting. So I would highly recommend these new, I think it's called Newer, Neweer, lights. I think I got them on sale on Amazon for like half off. So they were much cheaper than maybe, I don't think I would have bought them if they were full price, but now that I have them, I think I'll probably buy another set. But they're controlled via Bluetooth, and it's just super, super easy to use. And you can make like a little mini music video. I mean, I could just turn the light to blue right now and just jam out a little bit. So anyway, just a little pro tip for anyone that would like to make kind of a cool looking video, or maybe even like a little live stream concert. Just get 2 pairs of lights that you can control with Bluetooth, and you can change them from one song to the next. Could make for a pretty cool looking concert. So I'm going to make that as a note to self, as something to try. But anyway, so overall, a pretty good day. Although honestly, I scheduled a bunch of stuff that I was supposed to do today that I totally did not do because I became obsessed with trying to force the creativity behind that narration voiceover. And, you know what you get when you try and force the creativity. You get fucked. And I got fucked. I spent a bunch of time, and ultimately nothing really clicked with me. And, I really do try my best to stay true to my artistry, where, if something isn't clicking with me and it's not really making me feel like proud and sparking joy, like Marie Kondo would say, I don't fucking do it, or I don't put it out. I'll try, but anyway. So I think with that, we'll call it here. I hope that the audio has finally decided to cooperate, and I'm a little tired to be honest. I might have had a glass of wine or two. But I think that staying with this routine is important, because I want you guys to see every day of what being an artist actually looks like. And some days it may look fantastic. Honestly, I felt really inspired today with setting up my vocal booth. And I know I'm going way over time. Usually I want these to be like 10 minutes, but one quick thing. A trend that, I mean, it's not even really like new news, but like a trend on TikTok and Instagram, or mostly TikTok really, is like, just singing your new song, singing your song. Doesn't even have to be new. It could be a song you've already released, as like a selfie video, or if you just plop the phone down over here somewhere and you just sing it and put the captions as the lyrics, and then maybe like in the middle something saying like what the song is about, or even better, saying what the song, saying what the moment is that you're trying to create. Like, have you ever felt like shit because somebody that you loved isn't loving you back? And then just start singing the song with the lyrics. So because I set up my vocal booth, it kind of had a cool look to it, where I took a little random selfie just to show that I was doing something with my life. And I was like, oh man, like this actually looks kind of cool for one of those videos. So I took one and so it's interesting, the things that you do, as long as you're moving in the right direction, like, I'm moving towards setting up a better recording setup for myself. Like all these things, they add up in ways that you can't even expect. Like who knows, if that video got a bunch of plays and views, who would have thought it could have been the result of me deciding to do a live stream? Like the live stream ended up with me changing my vocal studio, which ended up with me thinking of an idea for a TikTok video, which ended up a lot of people seeing it that wouldn't have otherwise seen it. So like, I'm a huge believer in just, as long as you're moving in the right direction, like the universe is fucking trending in your direction. If you just keep pushing all the little things, all your little pawns, all these little areas of life, all these little efforts in the right direction, there's like this momentum that comes in behind it. And it's beautiful. And it's something that I've seen over and over and over again. And honestly, it's one of the things that's really given me faith as an artist, that just continuing to keep going, because the more you push in the right direction, the more the momentum builds up behind you, the more you're going to keep going and the farther you're going to get. So anyway, with that little nugget of positivity, honestly, I think I wouldn't have said it unless I thought it was true. I mean, I'm talking to I'm here by myself. I have no reason to fucking lie to you. You're always going to get the truth from me, for better or for worse. So, anyway, so with that, I'm going to call it. But thank you so much for tuning in. And honestly, if you have some time, go check out my album, Mirage. It's somehow getting picked up, and it's something I poured the last 8 months worth of my musical expertise and time into, and my heart. I mean, honestly, this, it's a little bit of an angsty album. And by a little bit, I mean, it's a really fucking angsty album. So if you like that kind of stuff, you're going to like it. But anyway, until next time, thank you for rocking with us, and rock on.